live on the first Saturday of the month, and being November the 1st, 2025. And we come out here on a regular basis to tell people of Perth and those who are watching online through Max Freedom about the truth, which the media will not tell you because they do not want you to know the truth. And we have a special occasion today because normally we have a walk of shame and we shame and name and shame the politicians, the bureaucrats, the companies which gaslit you and lied to you. But today we're going to start off with an announcement that we're handing out certificates of bravery today. Certificates of bravery to all those people who refuse to take the COVID jab. And we're going to do that today because we want to honour those people who refused to bend the knee to all the lies and the rubbish and the propaganda that was thrown around. And even though they made great sacrifices, here in WA there was probably only 2 to 3% of people who actually resisted, and we want to honour those people today. So we've got a little certificate and I want to go through each of the points today. All right, so I'll be handing out this certificate of bravery to the unjabbed. So if there are any unjabbed people here today, hang around and we will hand out to you a certificate of bravery because you were brave, you were fearless in spite of all the hatred, the gaslighting and the shaming, and you stood firm and resisted. So please hang around to grab your certificate if that is you. We have a number of police over there, and if we have any police that joined recently, they may be able to take one of these. Unfortunately, if they were around when Commissioner Dawson was Commissioner of the West Australian Police, he said, if you don't take the jab, you're going to lose your job. So anyone who's in the police force more than about 4 years will probably have had to take the jab to keep their job. Shame on Dawson. Shame. Had to get that in. All right, so certificate of bravery for the unjabbed. Number 1, you resisted the hysterical fear. The hysterical fear. Do you remember when it first started? Remember how they said that in Italy, what percentage of the population were dying from the jab? Can you remember what they said?
No.
It was 7%. They said 7% of people in Italy were dying from, so not from the jab, from the COVID, okay? 7%. It was all rubbish, complete and utter rubbish. It wasn't 7% at all. It was less than 0.7%. And for those who are relatively healthy, who don't have 5 or 6 comorbidities, it was less than 0.01%. Okay? So it wasn't any more dangerous than a bad flu season. But they ramped up the fear, hysterical fear. Do you remember how they said if you stood within 1.5 metres of someone else, you could literally die? Do you remember that?
I remember the days.
Oh yeah, baby. Within 1.5 metres, rubbish. Remember when we went along and we normally went up to a bloke? What's the first thing you do with a bloke? You went over and shake their hands. And then what did they do? They told, no, don't shake somebody's hand, you might die. You're going to do what? An elbow bump. How stupid is that? These people are complete morons. Anyway, you resisted the hysterical fear. Then you resisted the gaslighting. Remember the gaslighting? Do you know whose fault the pandemic was, apparently? It was us guys. We were the cause of the pandemic because we didn't take the jab. And all these people were dying because we didn't take the jab. That's gaslighting, people. We weren't the cause of the problem. No, we weren't. But they told you if you don't take the jab, you will be responsible for people dying, okay? You will be responsible for people dying. You know what happens when they tell you that? You end up with people like this. Here you go. We had this young person come up to us 2 months ago, and this young person said to me and to a few other people here, I want you to kill yourself. I want you to kill yourself. And it's because she thought we were killing other people. We were killing other people. She wasn't the only one. We have another lady. Oh, she was a beauty. We'll just call her Karen, shall we? Not sure of her name, so we'll just call her Karen. And she came up to us while we're standing just over there, under the shade in Forest Place, and she said, you're a bunch of murderers, okay? You're a bunch of murderers. You see, this is what happens. This is what government propaganda does. Government propaganda winds people up and up and up so that they will literally hate us. I mean, really, when you have someone say, I want you to kill yourself, that's really just hatred. That's just pure hatred when somebody would say something like that. We don't want her to kill herself. We want her to come to the knowledge of the truth. And the truth shall set you free. All right, so there we have it. You resisted the gaslighting. You resisted the shaming. Okay? People, I was talking to a teacher from a school the other day, and she said everyone in the school who did not have the jab, their name was put up on the notice board. Can you believe that? What about medical privacy? They put up the names of all the teachers and the teachers' educational assistants. They put their name up on the board so everyone would know who didn't take the jab in order to shame us. Well, shame on them. Shame. So that's what they did to us. But some of us, we stood firm. We did not take the jab. We did not listen to their attempt to shame us because we had nothing to be ashamed of. You lost your income. How many people here was affected financially because of what they did to us? Yes. So a number of us lost out financially because they said, you can't work. You can't come into work and do what you normally do because we're all so scared of something which is happening all the time. People get sick. And they said, what's the point of having a vaccine if it's not going to protect you? I mean, how crazy is that? That's just insane. And they said, oh, thank you. Look at this. Oh. Did they tell you this? The New South Wales government surveillance data, this is government information by the way, but the more jabs you have, the more likely you are to get COVID. How about that? Did they tell you that? No, they don't tell you that. Why don't they tell you that? Because they're a bunch of liars. Shame! So they said to us, you're going to lose your income. So I know people here who have lost not only their income, but they had to sell their house. They became homeless because they could no longer afford the mortgage payments because they lost their job. And it was all rubbish. But I honour those people who stood firm against this propaganda by the government. You resisted the insults. Oh, how many insults were thrown our way. Do you remember any of the insults, Greg?
They're not coming to me at the moment, but I'm sure you'll remember.
What about good old, what about our beloved Premier? Remember him? Where is he? Have we got a picture of him here today?
They said you were gonna kill Grandma.
You're going to kill Grandma, and that's what they said to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why I did it.
You took one jab because you said you wanted to protect Grandma and visit Grandma.
Yeah, because Grandma was in my house.
There you go. So, this Premier McGowan said you're going to kill Grandma if you don't take the jab. Do it for roll up for WA. Remember that? Do the right thing, okay? If you don't do the right thing, you're obviously doing the right thing. If you're not doing the right thing, then you're a scumbag, okay? Scumbag. People know me as Scumbag Stewart, okay? All right. So, he thought because he's going well in the popularity polls, he just doubled down and said, West Australia is a very compliant population, and if you weren't compliant, then according to him, you need to grow a brain. Remember that insult? You need to grow a brain if you don't take the jab. He also called us dickheads and cretins. There you go. That's the Premier of the state talking to the people of West Australia and said, you're a bunch of cretins. Okay, thanks very much, Premier. Do you know how many people in the Labor Party said, excuse me, Premier, we are in the same party, but that sort of language is not really acceptable. We shouldn't be calling members of the public cretins and people who don't have a brain. No, I tell you, let's do a search, let's find out how many people in the Labor Party put their hand up and said, you shouldn't be talking like that. How many opposed to what this guy said? A big fat zero. Shame. Shame. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, we love young people around here. Come on now.
Big fat zero.
Yeah. Oh.
A big fat zero.
All right.
Shame, shame, shame.
Yeah, shame. All right. You resisted. You resisted the bully. The bully. Okay. We had the bully from a number of different sources. Thank you, sir. Can we just quiet down a little bit? We had the bullying like in the staff room for those list of people who didn't get the jab. We had the bullying on TV every single night from the media personalities. Just go and get your jab. Just go and get your jab. Oh, who was saying that? Who was saying that? The old COVID commander. Go and get your jab. Just go out and get your jab. Even if you're a pregnant woman, go and get your jab. Just go and get it. Just go and do it. Do it. Roll up for WA. Okay? And so they were bullying us, and remember what this guy said? Half the people in hospital were the unvaccinated. He never provided any data for that. He just big fat lied. There you go. That's what politicians do. They lie. All right. Oh, you resisted the isolation. Remember the isolation? Remember how they said, no, not for you. You can't go to any parties. Oh, no, you can't go to the gym. No, not for you. No, you can't even have more than 10 people at a funeral. My daughter got married during the COVID insanity period, and we were only, look, I've got 5 children. I've got 4 sons and 1 daughter. What's the biggest social occasion of your life? When your only daughter gets married. You want to walk down that aisle, okay? We were only allowed 20 people at the wedding. How do you think that made us feel? How isolated. The groom's mother, who lived in Brazil, wasn't allowed to come to the wedding. Imagine how isolated she felt. Shame! Shame! You resisted the bullying, you resisted the isolation, and you were told, no, you can't go to the pool. I couldn't even take my grandchildren to the zoo. Get that? Can't even take my grandchildren to the zoo because if I took my grandchildren to the zoo, people might die. People might die. What? These people are insane. You resisted the dumb rules. Oh, you remember the dumb rules? Okay, who can remember some of the dumb rules?
No alcohol.
How about you can't go to a bottle shop? You remember that?
I remember that. In fact, I remember a bunch of people sneaking them onto Langley Oval right after they took the park.
So, you're allowed to go into the supermarket if you're all masked up, looking like with your nappy on your face, but you weren't allowed to go to a bottle shop. Why is that? What do you reckon? What was the reasoning behind that? How about this one? You went into as the restrictions were gradually being released, and we thought, oh, they're allowing us to do a little bit more. They're releasing the restrictions, so we should feel good about the government. How about this? When you went into a cafe, you had to wear a mask, but when you sat down, you could take the mask off. What? These people are insane. They're literally insane. Oh, that's right. You were not allowed to go to a hairdresser. Oh, no haircut for you. You have to do a self job. But you're allowed to go to a brothel. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And the check-ins. We had to check in.
Oh, yes. What do they call what do they call them? Contact tracing thing. Okay, who here, did you use the contact tracing?
Oh, no.
I put down, when somebody challenged me and I said, oh, all right, and then I put down Superman.
Yeah, put Scooby-Doo.
Who are you? All right, baby, these people are insane. You know?
I had to show my vaccine phone card before I could see a movie.
Hey, what?
At the movies.
At the movies, yeah.
The guy at the movies was looking at my vaccine phone app to see if I had got the jab before I saw the movie.
That's crazy. So yeah, so many of the rules were just insanity. It was all about control. All about control.
All right, so here's the classic one. My old church vaccinated people on the grounds right up there. That one right there, right at St. Mary's Cathedral. They'd done it on site. And I stood out the front saying, what would Jesus do? He would tip that table over, not on his land.
So, yeah, the pressure was from the churches, it was from the media, non-stop, day after day, from billboards. How many times do you drive past a billboard that said, do the right thing, all right? Do the right thing. And so they tried to shame us, they tried to bully us, they tried to gaslight us, and for those who stood firm, I honour you today. You resisted the censorship. Remember the censorship? You know how they censored doctors? Remember the doctors were told, where's Dr. Mark? He's not here today. Remember how the doctors were told, if you say anything which would possibly reduce vaccine take-up, you could lose your registration as a doctor, okay? So the doctors were censored, okay? Did they ever have debates on TV with somebody who was pro and somebody who was against? No, all it was is non-stop propaganda. That's what it was, and that's because they feared the truth. They feared the truth getting out, and so they censored us. They censored our YouTube channels. If you were putting things on YouTube channel, you actually got deplatformed.
Twice.
And so many, you got deplatformed.
Twice.
You got deplatformed. Tax Freedom got deplatformed. And so many people who were actually just offering an alternative opinion were censored. And despite all that, you heard the truth. You realised what they were doing was just telling you lie after lie, and then you still prevailed. All right, they said, how about this one? How many times did someone say to you, are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? Okay, you know what that is? It's an appeal to expertism. Okay, that's not actually an argument, are you a doctor? Because we can read, and we can read doctors who actually disagree with the narrative. And there were some really heroic doctors, both here in Australia and overseas, that stood up to all the lies. And so what they said to us, to all the people who were unjabbed, say, are you a doctor? What would you know? Okay, but we can read, okay? We can read. And we can know when a politician's lying because his lips are moving. All right, so to finish up, you stood firm in your convictions, you trusted your own judgment, So many of us paid the price for integrity. You chose courage over comfort, and you held the line for freedom. You are a hero. So well done to all the unjabbed here today and all the ones who are watching online, and give yourself a big round of applause. Well done, everyone. Woo! And now I'd like to invite all the unjabbed to come forward and receive your certificate of bravery. So please come forward.
These awards are presented to those who have actually gone through torture, continuous torture.
Well done, thank you. Yep, I'm unjabbed. Unjabbed, thank you. Well done, sir. Thank you. Well done, Ozzy. Yeah. Hey, Joe. Hey, what's your name?
Rochelle.
Oh, Rochelle, well done. Thank you. Sure, absolutely. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Stuart. Pleasure. Thank you.
You on, Jet? Oh, yeah.
Well done.
Now I want to take the photo.
Hang on.
Take photos.
I will. Give me a hug. All right, there you go. Cameraman. And one for the cameraman.
The cameraman, yes.
Thank you. We're going to...
All right, any more for any more? All right, here we are again. We're in Hay Street Mall this time. And we are truth-telling. Oh, there goes the bell. Timing is good. Hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. All right, time for some truth-telling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're having your lunch. We won't be here too long, so we won't be too long, and we won't be too noisy. All right, so I want to give a alternative certificate for those who were not in Murray Street Mall. We were handing out certificates of bravery to the unjabbed, and that was from one perspective. And now I do have an alternative certificate, and I was having an argument with AI because it kept on making spelling mistakes, and it was up to my 10th iteration where it fixed one spelling mistake and make another spelling mistake. But anyway, so for next time, this will be an alternative. So you can actually get the two different certificates of bravery. So you can put one in the back of the toilet door, and you can put one on the fridge, and you can put one on the front door for everyone who enters into your house, if you like. So I'll hand out as many as you like. All right, so this is a little bit more poetic, and I'm just going to read it out because the points that are raised here were pretty well covered when we were in Murray Street Mall. All right, listening up, everyone listening, and here we go. Certificate of bravery for the unjabbed. You stood when others bowed. You kept faith when truth was scorned. You resisted the tide of fear and the storm of accusation. You endured the gaslighting of the powerful and the shaming of the crowds, the coldness of rejection and the weight of derision. You bore the insults of the unthinking and the bullying of the loud, the threats of the fearful and the silence of the meek. You refused to trade conscience for comfort, integrity for acceptance, freedom for favour, or truth for convenience. You walked through isolation with honour, through uncertainty with courage, through loneliness with grace, and though the world may regret, your resolve stands as witness, and we salute you. So this will be available next rally, which will be on the first Saturday in December. And then we're getting close to Christmas. Oh, let's remember a Christmas message. Talking about Christmas, let's remember the Christmas message that was handed down by the good people at the White House. This is this is going down memory lane. Remember this message? Straight from the official website of the White House. For the unvaccinated, you're looking at severe illness and death. For yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm. What a cheery Christmas message that was. What do you think of that?
I think it's terrible because it wasn't us or the people in the United States that were getting into the hospitals. It was the poor jabbed people. So, yeah.
So just another one of their lies and propaganda, and it's no wonder those, when we get attacked by those Karens, those white liberal women, that they call us a bunch of murderers because of propaganda like this. All right, now it's time for my update. My update, because as you know, I take the Chief Commissioner of Police to the State Administrative Tribunal on a regular basis. I have taken Commissioner Blanche to the SAT 5 times. Let's just check the scoreboard, shall we? What's the scoreboard? Stuart 5, Blanche 0. I have won every single time. How about that, people? Woo! Oh, baby! Let's just show the people at the restaurant the sign so they can see. That's Commissioner Blanche. Look at all those medals he's wearing. He's supposed to be very impressive, but he's not impressive because he keeps on losing. He's a loser. Oh, by the way, so Richie and I went along to the Perth police station because they were saying that if you come to a protest, you're not allowed to be anonymous because the government says if you go to a protest, your employer must know who you vote for. Your employer must know what your political opinions are, even though it's illegal to ask someone who you vote for at the job interview. The Commissioner of Police said you can't go to a political rally with your face uncovered. You can't be anonymous because we want you to get the sack if you have wrong opinions, okay? And if you are a police officer and you think Commissioner Blanche is a waste of space and should get the sack, which we all do, then they don't want any police officers coming here anonymously, so they can immediately sack them on Monday morning if they do. Well, we said to Acting Superintendent Trovarello, we went in, had a word with him. He was actually quite polite. Can't complain about that. But we explained our position and we said, if you don't agree to this, I'm going to take Commissioner Blanche to the State Administrative Tribunal for the 6th time and I'm going to win because I always win. I'm a winner. He's a loser. And after due consideration, they caved. And so now, if you were to come along and you don't want your employer to know that you're here, or maybe your spouse, you don't want your spouse to know that you're here, it's okay to cover your face. So that's another win for Stuart, and it's another win for all the people of Perth. Oh, baby! Yay! Woo! Thank you, sir. Always take on the rich and the powerful and beat them at their own game. All right, so that's the latest update. Oh, I have more news. So next Saturday, we're having another protest. It's not our usual first Saturday of the month protest, but it will be outside the library of the city of Armidale because they had a library assistant there, Declan Mansfield, and basically he was forced out because his views, he writes for the Spectator magazine, and he was pointing out some truths and they didn't like that and they pressured him and they wanted to teach him woke ideology, and he said, no, I'm not going to be taught all this rubbish woke ideology, and it was basically forced out. So the Free Speech Union is organising the protest outside Armadale Shopping Centre at 11:30 next Saturday. So I really encourage you to come along. I'll be there, and we will be supporting Declan Mansfield, and it should be a blast. So the more people that can come, if we can get that out there, that'll be great. And so it's 11:30 in Memorial Park, which is just outside it's in the circular grassed area with tiered grass seating, just below Dome Restaurant. And we'll be there next Saturday, 8th of November, and hope to see as many of you as possible to support Declan. So that's happening next Saturday, so I hope you can make it. All right, so I'm just going to invite Lynn to come up, because she was telling me... Where's Lynn gone? Where's she gone? Oh, there she is. Lynn, tell us what you were saying about Canberra. I was very interested in what you were having to say.
Actually, everybody I've told this to were like, wow, this is really interesting. So I was in Canberra in February 2022. I went there I was there with all the protests, and there was a lot of people there, well over 1 million. But anyway, when I got there, I was living in Victoria and Melbourne at the time, and I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. There was only 3 places I could go to unvaccinated. One was the supermarket, the other was a bottle shop, which is different to here, and the other place, and you can check this out for yourself, don't believe what I'm saying, you need to do your own research, was a brothel. Can you believe that? So anyway, I'm in Canberra, and I like things like the art gallery and all that. And some people said, oh, you can go anywhere in Canberra. You can go to the State Library, the museum, you name it, you can go there. And I'm like, why? I thought we weren't allowed in those places. They said, oh, it's because the federal government weren't mandated to take it. What do you know? And I bet you didn't see that on TV. So that covers a lot of people. I did know about some people who didn't have to take it, like the post office, the workers, they didn't have to take it. But it covers a lot of people. Centrelink, there's a lot of people who work for the federal government. So, who likes the fact that there's rules for some people and not for others? Also, the politicians weren't mandated. Sure, they weren't allowed in, they had to work from home, but they didn't lose their jobs. Funny about that. Who else? The High Court judges. Can you believe? Believe there's some others, but I'll leave it at that to get you thinking. Don't believe what I'm saying. Do your own research. You can find this out. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Lynn. Tell us about your T-shirt. I like your T-shirt. Lynn, tell us all about it.
Well, this man standing next to me printed this. And it's true. I am actually very healthy. I've never been sick. I've not had a sniffle. I've not had a cold. And I'm 70. So it seems to me that they've been lying that we're going to make other people sick. When I bet this is the healthiest I've ever been. So there we go, my testimony.
And no regrets?
Definitely no regrets. It's sad, but I've lost friends. I know people who've died. I had neighbours. People all the time speak to me and say they're sick, they've got heart issues. I met a lovely young man yesterday. I was riding my bike through a park and talked to him and his friend. He was probably as tall as you, but very muscly and fit young man, and he actually said that he had heart problems, and he said he was forced to take it because it was at uni.
And what about, Lynn, just come back. Do you think it affected any of your family relationships in any way?
I'll let that pass. Thank you. Yeah.
I think a lot of us had family that weren't supportive at the very minimum, and others can say that actually has been quite damaging. So That is a common experience for those who did not take the jab. All right, well, we'll move on to our favourite location, which is Harmer City, and see if they are still, we're wondering, are they still giving out the COVID jab? We'll see if they're still doing that, and we'll comment on that. Let's go out and see. Okay, well, here we are, and to all the employees of Harmer City, we're back! We're back! First Saturday of the month, we're outside your store, and let's do a check. Let's check them out. Let's see what they're doing over here. Okay, we're going to their sign. Harmer City, your vaccination destination. Okay.
Sounds like a holiday.
All right, hepatitis B, don't take any of that. HPV, don't take that. Meningococcal, it's so rare. What are the side effects? Did they tell you all the side effects? Okay, pneumococcal, breathe for over 70, measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, shingle, whooping cough, flu. Oh, here we go. COVID-19. Pfizer, JN.1U, and it is free. It is completely and utterly free. Okay? Wait a minute. Nothing's free. Somebody's paying for it. Who's paying for it? Oh, that's right, I'm paying for it. That's right. I pay my taxes, and guess what? My taxes are paying for it. They get paid. They get paid for giving people COVID jabs. So it's not free. Perhaps they should remove that sign and say it's not free, because the taxpayers of Australia are paying for this and they're making money out of it. And Pfizer's making money out of it. So there you go, Harmer City. And they're telling a whopper, it's not free. It's not free. They should take that little yellow sticker off and say, no, the taxpayers of Australia are paying for it. Anyway, so here we are again, and we're encouraging anyone not to go into that store and get your COVID jab, especially now we are told that officially anyone under 18 is not recommended to take COVID-19, and whereas before they said take the COVID-19 so you don't kill grandma. Remember that? Don't kill grandma, or you'll, if you're under 18. So now they're saying, no, not recommended for those under 18. Fancy that. So don't go into that store, don't take the COVID jab, because the more jabs you take, where's that sign? There we go. The more jabs you take, the more likely you are to get COVID. Who knows people who had COVID for the 4th, 5th or 6th time, okay? How many people know people who are unjabbed that have had COVID 4, 5, 6 times, okay? No, we don't know anyone like that. I had to go out, there's some people out there that had the COVID, and I said, I'm going to go and catch COVID because I want to get my 4-month exemption. So I went out, spent hours and hours and hours with these people who had the COVID. I got the COVID, and I was sick for about a day and a half. Felt a little bit tired for 2 weeks. No big deal. And here I am. Whereas I was told the COVID would find me and I would die, but I didn't die. So there you go. I survived. I'm a survivor. I survived the COVID and only got it once, whereas people who took the jab are going to get it again and again and again. Yeah, did they tell you that when you walk in there? They tell you that you're more likely to get COVID the more times to take the jab. This is New South Wales Government Surveillance Report. It's government data. That's what it is.
Fuck up, dickhead.
Oh, you want to say something, sir, other than abusive? Or you got something intelligent to say other than just abuse? Do you, sir? No, don't think so. There we have someone who has been wound up by the government that all he can do is abuse people, and he has no argument other than just abuse. Thank you for demonstrating what happens when you listen to government propaganda. There you go. Gentleman's gone, he's not returning back. You gave him the opportunity to speak, but doesn't want to speak. All he want to do is abuse us. There you go. Anyway, yes, we're going to have a report on what's happening in the UK. All right, here we go.
I would just like to speak about free speech and the right of ordinary people to demonstrate for what they believe in. On the 13th of September, there was a huge demonstration in London, England. Some of you may have been aware of that. I actually attended with two other people who work with this group. It was an amazing demonstration. There were people from, well, Australia, me. There were people from Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and England, and they all carried their flags. It was the most beautiful sight. It was a sight of solidarity. It was a sight of pride. It was a sight of people saying, we have never demonstrated, we've never been interested in politics before, but now we are standing up for our freedom of speech and for our rights to tell the government that we do not want people, illegal people coming in on boats to our shore and being given privileges of free accommodation, money, houses, cars. Does this sound familiar? Of course, in England, they are actually literally coming from France in boats illegally. Here, you have got your wonderful government bringing in far too many immigrants to this country. It's not about racism. All the people there were saying, there were Sikhs there, there were people from Jamaica there, not many. Some black people actually said, we're too scared to go to this march, this Tommy Robinson march on the 13th of September in London for free speech, because people will call us racist. But most people said it's never about race. We are a very harmonious country. We've always had people of different races. We do not want an influx of people who have an ideology that is not the same as ours. Britain is actually a Christian nation. The King is a representative of the Church of England. And yet it's not, it's about the... It's about Islamization, it's about Sharia law being brought into a country and not obeying the laws of the country. Britain, people who come to Britain or go to Britain or come here obey the laws of your country. Islam has been a problem because Islamists, not talking about Muslims, we're talking about Islamization, which is entirely different. Trying to bring another culture's laws, Sharia law, into another country. And people were standing up. There were people who said, whole coach loads have come from our village. We have never been interested in politics. We have never been interested in anything. But now we can see 12,000 people were jailed for tweets that went against what the government, Keir Starmer's government, the Labour government, thinks are naughty little tweets. 12,000 people, ordinary people, are in jail. And yet they are allowing rapists and murderers to run amok. Now, I was there at this demonstration, so I can tell you from my own experience. The BBC, reluctantly, without any sort of, people put in any visuals, said, oh well, there was this demonstration and there was 100,000. Another group said there was 150,000. I was there till the end. I started at 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 7 o'clock I was right up where Tommy Robinson and all the speakers were speaking. I was at the stage. All the police were along, lined up, smiling at us. Tommy Robinson told us to thank the police. The police actually said, this crowd of 2 to 3 million, 2 to 3 million. The media said 100,000 to 150,000. I saw the media lying it was my own experience, not hearsay. I was there. The police said 2 to 3 million. It was a very, very exciting time. Yeah, there was a few drunks, but happy drunks. There was no violence. There were very few people arrested. Everybody was so joyful. It was just absolutely amazing. It's one of those life-changing experiences for me. Seeing ordinary people stand up and say, we want to be heard. Our government is not doing what we want. Keir Starmer actually said embarrassingly to Trump when he came, oh, we're proud of our free speech. 12,000 ordinary citizens have been jailed for speaking out with tweets, little minor things. If this isn't a wake-up call, and the people have woken up in Britain, they have woken up. And it's about demonstrating without violence. As they say, our country, we love having other people from other countries. The British have always accepted other people. It's not about race. It's about ideology and bringing too many people into a country that has homeless, how you cannot go to the doctor or the hospital to get your medical needs because there are too many people using the resources. Now, is this familiar? Have you heard these things said about Australia? Yes, you have. And are the people listened to? No, they are not. Time to speak up. We have resources here for the people of this country. You cannot bring in more people than our resources allow. That is common sense. So if the government does not listen to common sense, what ulterior motive is going on behind this? That's just what I ask you to ponder. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, just to wind up now. So, for those of you who missed out, especially on live or watching by Max Freedom, come and collect your certificate of bravery for the UNJUB. So come on down on the first Saturday of the month. The next one will be the 5th of December. Someone got a calendar on them? I think it's the 5th of December is the first Saturday. 5th or the 6th? 6th, is it? 6th of December, okay. All right, well, it's either the 5th or 6th of December. First Saturday of the month, it'll be a December special. Come and get your certificate of bravery, stick it up on the toilet door, stick it on the fridge, stick it on the front door, hand it out to your friends, and perhaps say a little Christmas present for all those unjabbed people that you know. All right, so thank you all for coming down and hearing us to tell the truth about what is going on in the world, and hope to see you next time, first Saturday of the month, down in Forest Place. Thank you very much, everyone.